Like, I went to bed really early. I feel like I went to bed before 8:30 or something, but now I feel really awake. So I'm gonna drink coffee as I brush my hair. I'm gonna get my water too. I'll be right back. Because we're gonna have a brushing, talking hair session. Oh, I should have done that. They'll spurt everywhere. Where do they all come? Okay, I want to talk about Y2K nonsense because I was a very young person when Y2K happened, and a lot of it was nonsense. Like, look, what kind of Y2K nonsense am I going to talk about? I want to talk about body dysmorphia stuff, okay? The stuff that I think our society has a lot of unhealthy visions and thoughts about how people are supposed to look. Like, things go in trends, right? Like, I know some of the, like, I don't think being 400 pounds is healthy, okay? I don't think that's healthy. I don't think just eating to, like, put on lots of weight, like the feeder stuff, that's not healthy. But you know what else is not healthy? Is very unhealthy? Is the whole Y2K aesthetic. And a lot of people are saying, oh, I feel like triggered because the 2011 aesthetic is coming back, or the Y2K aesthetic. Well, I'm going to say right now, I don't even think that these things are necessarily Y2K or 2011. It's just younger people, they're not going to be like looking for 1940s aesthetic. Like, when fashion trends go in cycles, they usually only go 20 to 30 years back. Like, I have never seen like the hoop skirt. Like, I've been waiting. Like, I used to joke with my mom, like, there's going to be mini hoop skirt aesthetic. Oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't say, because maybe now people are going to want to wear mini hoop skirts. I don't know. Maybe that's going to become the next theme, and then I'll laugh because they'll be like, but I used to have this joke that people were going to start wearing like capri leggings and mini hoop skirts. I don't know. I just thought that was so funny. Fashion goes in trends. But I think what it is there's a real pro-Anna aesthetic that has run deep within our culture, right? So being healthy is one thing, but my definition, my version of being healthy has nothing to do with like what society thinks is beautiful. I'm just about like, can you walk like miles per day? Can you be super active from day to night and avoid getting sick? And I think the thing that really drives this in my mind is like, in the past year, when I saw people get very injured and hurt, and I want them to be able to just be able to do, like, I know that they probably can't do half of what they used to do, but just being able to walk again, like without being in pain and things like that, it very diminishes this whole young aesthetic, pro-Anna aesthetic that our society is really embracing. Although there's older people too that really lean into this, okay? And I blame our culture for having this very disordered, very unhealthy relationship with food, looks, because first off, I personally do not believe that God thinks that we should be talking about our weight all the time. I think it's wrong. I think it's unhealthy. I know, like, if that makes you happy, do it. But when I was younger, I feel like I was twinged by this disordered culture where I would say, like, oh my gosh, I need to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. We really shouldn't be saying that around people because we don't know who we could be hurting, influencing in the wrong way with those thoughts. It to me is very problematic. Like, very, very problematic, especially like when women around other women talk about their weight. They talk about someone being chunky and stuff like that. Like, you could be hurting younger people that think they need to restrict their calories down to some crazy low level, and there is like no balance. Like, I'm my life now, it's all about balance. It's about eating healthy, eating a meal, and eating balance. Because when I was younger, sometimes, like, it was taught, like in Y2K, maybe you should skip a meal so you could have that. And it's just not Y2K specific. I think it's just diet culture nonsense. Like, skip a meal so you can be like super, super thin. And I don't think that necessarily looks healthy. Like, I had some weird comments from men. I'm sure women do this too, but this is where men do it. They do it weird online, like in fetishy kind of ways. Women just do it like where they're in a social group and they're like, oh, so-and-so looks chunky. Oh, so-and-so should lose weight. Oh, look at me. I'm only eating 300 calories for a meal. That's not a flex, by the way. Eating 300 calories for a meal is starvation. That's not a flex. I'm just going to tell you that. People that talk about calories too much, like, honestly, to be optimally healthy, I do enjoy eating more fruits and vegetables. I do find when I eat a very heavy vegetable diet, that's just the healthiest, but not because I want to be aspiring to the pro-Anna aesthetic. So I don't know, all these things just come back into my mind because I do indulge in vegan YouTube. I like plant-based meals, but I do remember, like, when I first became plant-based vegan, I lost a lot of weight, okay? And I thought that was so exciting. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. That's great. But also, too, when you're younger, it's a lot easier to lose weight. I don't think people realize that. It's like a metabolism thing. Like, when you're younger and you change your diet and you have a calorie deficit, it's just a lot easier to lose weight. So recently I was watching like this plant-based video and I just thought the title was a little triggery. Like, it's one thing if you want to get healthy and you want to like lose weight for yourself, but saying like that you think you're fat or that, oh, I need to lose fat, I find it all kinds of problematic. You're not helping anybody. You're not helping anyone. And by the way, a lot of these, like, you could be a certain weight on a scale, but does that mean you're healthy? Does that mean you're healthy? No. Like, can you walk many miles? Are you healthy? Eating a healthy, nutrient-rich diet? Like, for me, it's plant-based. But if you're eating meat, are you eating vegetables too? Because if you're excluding vegetables from your diet, it's not healthy. And there's a lot of people, like, even the collaboration times, like, where I never agreed with them, okay? And they would kind of push their pro-Anna stuff on me, like when I was doing collaborations, one lady said, well, you know your most popular video, like, and I knew what she was trying to do, okay? I knew what she was trying to say. Well, you might think you look the same, but you don't, and it's good to wonder why that video has more views than this other video. And I'm like, you know what? That's weird. That is so disordered thinking. Like, oh, because you're skinnier, you have more value. I know our society acts that way, and I know, because I remember people, like, when I lost weight, like, the way people are, their disordered thinking, like, the comments that they make, and the praise that they give people when they lose weight, and then people, like, if you put it on that weight, you no longer get that praise. And I think that's very disordered. There's something wrong with that. You can tell somebody that they look good, but telling someone, like, oh, well, you know, like, you should lose weight again, like, honestly, I'm happy with myself. I'm always going to eat a nutrient-based lifestyle. I'm not aspiring to be like these other people in our society and culture who think that the scale being a certain number is what indicates health, because this past year has taught me that's definitely not the case. Like, when I see somebody get injured and I'm afraid that, like, what is the repercussion of that? And are they going to live? And can they walk properly? Your pro-Anna stuff diminishes. Like, there's no value in pro-Anna culture or anything like that. And I'm not saying you should be, like, aspiring to be like Tess Holiday. Like, this is not what this is about, because I think that's another extreme of unhealthy. Like, our society loves extremes, right? That's why a lot of the people that were very, like, extreme vegan, like, I was even seeing this in this video where people were like, oh my god, I need to go back to high carb, low fat veganism so I can lose weight. And that's like whole freely thing, or like even you could take it farther where the people are just eating fruit. And then that's so extreme, and a lot of them get like 15 cavities, and they're like, oh my god, I had no energy after a while, because it's an eating disorder. So they go to the other end of the spectrum, which is another eating disorder, and it's the carnivore stuff. Like, I know a lot of people, they like simp for carnivore. They're like, oh, this person like lost lots of weight, like they ate just meat. It's a lot of simping for like a number on a scale and an aesthetic to make other people happy. But were you happy? Were you healthy? And no. I don't think simping for extremist lifestyle of either carnivore versus extreme vegan is healthy, because it's not. It's not healthy. There's no way to dissect it. It's not healthy either way. It's never healthy. None of that's healthy. This is just my opinion. Like, you can pretend till the cows come home that stuff's healthy. It's definitely not. None of it's healthy, my opinion. But you know, our society is very driven about talk, and I just think anytime when somebody's like, oh, I eat, but I don't look like I eat, or oh, I can't eat this, why are we saying stuff like that? Life is so fleeting, and people spend so much of it talking about like things that aren't important. Can you walk? Are you healthy? Are you enjoying your food? You know what I think? Who I think, and this is what I've thought for a very long time, and this last year has just solidified it into the ground, who I think are the healthiest people. They're people who have a healthy relationship with food, and they're like foodies, and they're not like eating to be, they're not feeders foodies, but they're just people that like, they eat different kinds of food and they enjoy it. And honestly, like, it's usually very vegetable laden, very fruit laden, not like, I'm not talking about like tons and tons of fruit, but like they have some fruit in there. But it's a very vegetable laden type of way of eating, and it's super healthy, because a lot of the cuisine around the world that's the healthiest has a lot of vegetables in it. Of course, people, like most people, eat meat. There might be some meat in there, but for me it's plant-based. So I think eating more vegetables for everybody is good. You know, more salad, more stir fries, more like hummus where you can dip vegetables in it. Some tzatziki, like I do a vegan tzatziki, that's really good. So like aim for more nutrient dense food and eating more vegetables, and maybe we all should stop eating so much processed food, right? Because if you're eating more vegetables, that's healthier. I mean, I would love if we could have vegetables that were not sprayed into oblivion, but it's harder to find organic produce sometimes unless you grow it yourself. That's more problematic. And I know because my mom has this amazing apple tree, and like all the little apples off of it are so yummy and they're so amazing, and I still have some in my crisper, but they're so little. And our society wants a big giant apple, which to me, those are flavorless, like a lot of produce you buy at the grocery store. It just doesn't have a good flavor to it. And I know because like once you've had like homegrown produce, or just when people also have produce that they share with you, like homegrown zucchini just has like a flavor. It's flavorful. It doesn't just taste like watery like the supermarket produce. And sometimes like I do love my salad, but I've noticed like unless you're buying like even the organic ones, they just don't have like the same good flavor. Like my mom had grown some lettuce that she brought to me, and that lasted me for a couple weeks. And it's just so flavorful. Like it has a sweetness, it has a crispiness. And that's the thing. When you start just being a foodie and you start enjoying food because it's good and it's healthy and you're trying to eat more vegetables, you don't need to be like this Y2K aspirational person. You don't need that because you're looking for like just eating healthy. And I think some carbs are okay too. I know our society, and I'm not talking about like the low high carb low fat vegan people, because I'm not talking about their kind of carbs. So I'm just like saying like you can actually eat a piece of bread with some hummus on it or some avocado. Oh no, I'm not even a millennial. I'm a zillennial. I'm a zillennial. Somewhere between X and Y, like that's me actually. But I love avocado toast, but I make my own kind of avocado toast. I was kind of horrified because I found out some people put mayonnaise. No, mayonnaise does not go on avocado toast. That's nasty. No, it's fresh avocado with lemon and garlic, and maybe a little bit of salt, and some salsa or hummus. Hummus avocado toast is actually even better, where you take a little bit of hummus and avocado, and that is just so good. So just forget about, like, whatever aesthetic is trending, you probably don't need to be a part of it. And it's probably not healthy. And it's probably just a cycle because, like I said, these cycles come in 20 to 30 years. You're probably never going to see, well, like I would say in the early 2010s, you did see some 80s aesthetic, but that's because it was only about 30 years. I never see anything like going back, like I don't think many hoop skirts are gonna come back in style, right? I just don't see that happening. And, you know, there were other things about the Y2K that was just so problematic that people thought that all the computers were gonna just go belly up, and it didn't happen. And everybody used to watch the news and go bananas about that every day, and I just would be like, whatever. There were just a lot of, and then there was just a lot of, there were things, I think, I'm wondering too if this is another reason, just because the world was a little bit more innocent in the Y2K times, because I just remember, like, after Y2K, things just got a little bit darker because of current events and the way that they were driven and spun, you know. Never buy this wheel, by the way. It was given to me for free, but I'm like, there's a lot of extra stuff in it. And you know what? It's a dupe for like that one oil that everybody says is that they don't like. But that thing is a dupe for which is the one? Oh yeah, OGX. It said OGX, like OGX is a dupe of that, and like OGX is cheaper, but I like this Shea coconut oil. But like I said, once I use up all these oils, I'm just going to go back to using kitchen oil. Because I love kitchen oil in my hair. I know some people are like, oh my god, you can't use oil from your kitchen in your hair. Like, there are some hairstylists. Like, I might like some of their content, but like they're started saying, oh my god, you can't put yes, you can put olive oil in your hair. You know what I did? I had an olive oil treatment. It was so lovely. I went to go check the sunrise, but it's just today, sometimes it's not as brilliant. Sometimes the sun is rising behind the mountains and it's so beautiful, but other times we have like this goopy marine layer in the mornings. And I've never really gotten past like growing up in the San Bernardino Mountains on the back side of the mountain, not on I guess it's the north-facing side of the mountain, facing to the desert. We just always have these cerulean blue skies, whereas, like, there's one part, like, even though we have the really vibrant blue skies down here, but there's just one thing I've never really 100% become accustomed to, especially between, like, I would say the spring, but even in the summer too. You have like this marine layer from the ocean, and sometimes it mixes with a little bit of smog, and it just creates like this hazy kind of like foggy. And I've just never really ever become accustomed to that. Like, no. Even though I've lived here for like years now, I've lived here for 2007. It's not 15 years yet. 17 years. I still am not accustomed to that. I'm still accustomed to like, well, when I used to live in the mountains, and also I lived out in the high desert for a while, it's just you have a bright, vibrant blue sky, and the sunrise and the sunset are just so vibrant. Like, it's just, I'm just used to that. I've just never really become 100% accustomed to that other kind of sunrise. You know, Jasmine's really good at brushing hair. It's not really Jasmine, it's just... do what other, like, other long hair people do. Like, they say things like, oh, like, back comb your hair and do this to your hair. Like, I just thought about this. It's like, everybody thinks the way that they do hair is the best way. And maybe, like, they try to help people by sharing their way. But, like, when I feel like when you know your way, and you know what works good for your hair, and you learn that, there's just nothing that other people do with their hair that's going to inspire you to do what you do with your hair. Like, my hair is intuitive. It's so intuitive, and I have linked into that. And maybe a lot of women don't follow me for that reason. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I know some women do, but I'm never going to be like a heavily followed by other women. I've just noticed that. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know. Some women do follow me, but I just have noticed, like, there's a lot of women that don't follow me for that one reason. And I know a lot of people, like, they have a large female following, and I just tend to have more men that follow me, and this is, and then I know there's some other, can we just debunk all Y2K thought process? Like, I've been seeing a lot of people bring up the whole pick me and girls girl thing, and I feel like that's bully culture stuff too. Like, a lot of people are calling some people pick me's lately. I've been seeing that is on the rise. And okay, here's another thing that's very Y2K driven, like, and people reference movie culture. Did you know that makes you like if you see you're a girl's girl and you're calling other women a pick me, you have leaned into bully culture. Like, really, this is other women not supporting other women, and that is a thing. And I know some people get upset. They're like, but we're feminists. We support all women. We support every single woman that is there. But then this is their rejoinder. Oh, but the trad wife, we don't support her because she is not feminist. Well, guess what? even call myself a feminist. I call myself a humanist. And I'm not conservative or liberal. I'm just myself because I don't want to be defined by all these different things that our society says that you need to define people by. So stop calling other women pick me, because I feel like some of that is, like, I know some people are like, oh, but she's picking men, or she wants men to notice her over women. But I feel like maybe sometimes, I've just noticed this, women tend to be like, they just want, like, they're looking for a woman that has a certain aesthetic, aligns with them a certain way, you know? And I've never really leaned into that hard enough. Because, I don't know, growing up, I didn't have, like, a large group of female friends. And I can be friends with women, but I don't like catty women culture. And I feel like, and I'm not saying if you have a lot of female followers that's that. No, I don't believe that at all. I just feel like there is this certain, I don't know, like if you don't fit into like a certain like type of genre, your followers might be more male, and that's fine. Like I embrace it. I love having a primarily male viewership. It doesn't bother me at all. Because, I don't know, men aren't here to, like, call women pick-me's, and there are certain things that other women do to other women that are just not helpful. And that, I feel like, is a very Y2K thing that's kind of coming back into style. So I just feel like it doesn't matter what your audience looks like. It could be men, women, it could be both. I don't know why people are so, like, obsessed with, like, who their audience is. You don't, like, honestly, when I started doing hair videos, I didn't choose what, or I didn't have an idea of who my audience was going to be. I just wanted to talk about long hair. And I do it according to my own, like, thought process. And maybe that resonates more with some men who are just into watching long hair, I guess. And that's fine. And as long as people don't cross the line, and like lately, I just stopped answering people that, like, there are men that act bad too, like, that come to videos and just say kind of crazy things and act like they have a right to write just obscene things, and either they get deleted up or they just get ignored. And they don't notice. I've noticed they heavily do not notice. Because I'm like, I don't really care. Like, my videos aren't for you. Like, I'm not here. I'm just here to share long hair and thoughts according to me. And this is the thought that was on my mind today. So that's what I'm sharing. You know? Okay, so what is the key message I want out of this video today? Eat healthy. Live a balanced life. Somebody else's insecurities do not have to be your insecurity. If other people want to lean into whatever fashion cycle, whatever pro-Anna thing is like trending in the moment, you don't have to lean in. Like, in fact, when people start talking about stuff like that, just walk away, go outside, and look at the trees. That's a very introverted way to deal with things, but I want to live the healthiest life possible. Long hair is a manifestation of that. I'm not trying to look a certain way for people that don't believe in health, because those people, the pro-ana people, they don't really believe in health either. And I've seen like the long-term repercussions of not eating a well-balanced diet. And you can be as skinny as you want to be, but that does not equal health. Like, I truly know this because a lot of people, when they get older and they're not eating healthy, they could have osteoporosis. You know, that could be, especially as a woman, if you're not taking a multivitamin, if you're not eating all 3 micronutrients, and you're following a lot of this bad advice, a lot of older women, they end up getting osteoporosis. That's scary. Like, you don't want to be in a situation like that, just because when you were younger, like, your aesthetic was, oh, I want to look like this certain way. You want to invest in your long-term health, you know, by eating vegetables, fruit. You can have carbs too, eating healthy fats. You don't make your life driven by trying to look a certain way for a certain trending, fleeting thing. Are you trying to be healthy? That's all that matters. Also, it will help your hair, because I've noticed every time I eat as optimally as possible, my hair grows a lot more. And I feel like a lot of my, like, another reason, like, yes, genetically, my hair does grow pretty fast. But, you know, some of my siblings have the same genetics as me, and I think their hair grows fast too, but I've noticed, like, their hair was thicker when they were younger, but I've noticed, like, some of them, like, one of them, like, her hair isn't quite as thick as mine, and I think it might just be because she gets stressed about a lot of stuff, but also, too, like, I feel like maybe you need to eat more fruits and vegetables. Focus on healthy eating for hair growth, you know, not for pro-ana nonsense. Like, pro-ana, if anything, I think everybody knows by now, this channel is not into that. We're not into what's trending, what's fleeting. We're into health, and health does not look like what the pro-ana people say it looks like. They're wrong. They're so wrong. So you can weigh yourself, but don't go by that. Don't go by that, because can you walk 10 miles and not feel sick? That's the question. Like, how super active can you be? And I'm not talking about, like, oh, aesthetic act. I'm just talking about, can you be active all day into the night and still have good energy? Like, for decades to come. Like, to me, that's my obsession, and I want to grow my hair long, and I don't aspire to look like a Y2K person, because that's fleeting too. Now, I'm going to go film my hair for another video, because, I don't know, that's where my mind is right now. Bye!